taking us back 30. Yes, count them 30 years to March 1995. That's Take That, with the timeless classic Back for Good right here on Freedom FM. And before that, Sean wrapped up his old school show in style, wouldn't you agree? And not only that, he's kindly left me a neon yellow sticky note and a generous €50 note, both taped to this here microphone stand, saying please tell them I'll be back next Sunday from 8 until midnight. You know what? You don't want to miss out on that, now do you? Anyway, here we are, you and me, in our own little corner of the night. So, welcome to another edition of the Way Too Early Night Cruise, where romance meets rewind and every track wraps itself around your memories like your favourite old snood, comfy, faded, and exactly what you need at this time of the morning. My name is Feargal, and for the next 2 hours I'll be curating a hand-picked playlist. No AI here, because as we like to say around these parts, hashtag hire human. Anyway, a hand-picked playlist of smooth and mellow masterpieces from the 90s and the noughties. So whether you're working through the witching hours or vibing away under your duvet, thank you for joining me. And you know what? Tonight's not just about listening, it's also about getting involved. Because you see, after 1 a.m, we're going to play our Love Slowed Down game. But before we do that, we want to hear your weekend tales in our I Know What You Did Last Weekend bit in this hour. And I'll give you some more information on just how you can get in on either or both of those in a bit. And of course, if you'd like to get in touch with us tonight, we are here for you. You can drop me a line on WhatsApp or text to 086 206 8888. That's 086 206 8888. Feeling a bit nostalgic for your 90s dial-up? Then feel free to email me, hello@freedomfm.ie. Or if you're more of a social creature, then you can find me, Voice Actor Fergs, on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and says.us. Type, text, or just send an email. I'll know exactly what it means. Anyway, with all that said, if you are ready, let's get this Way Too Early Night Cruise underway. And we're going to do that in 3, 2, 1. Lisa Loeb, Stay. I Missed You on Freedom FM's Way Too Early Night Cruise. And I've got a little question for you now. Tell me, did your weekend come with fireworks or flops? Was it a bit of a blur? 2 days of bold choices, belly laughs? Or did you go full zen, wrapped in pajamas, marathoning guilty pleasures and hitting the snooze button like it was a competitive sport, all followed by that moment when you realised Monday was sneaking up on you like a cat in a pair of socks? Anyway, thrilling or tame, bonkers or beige, we want your weekend tales for a little something we like to call I Know What You Did Last Weekend. Because this show isn't just for listening, it's for living. And your stories are the heartbeat of this hour. And as sharing is caring, I'll get the ball rolling and tell you how my rather uneventful weekend planned out. You see, herself was away, so that meant I could play. And of course, Friday night, well, it was spent recovering from a busy, stressful week in bed nice and early. Saturday saw me powerhousing the driveway, which had to be done early because I had to get down to the club and watch the Lions play rugby, which led, as these things often do, to a lost afternoon with friends. Sunday had me in the back garden where the dog was barking at the lawnmower, but I had to get all of that done by lunchtime so I could get some Formula 1 and Tour de France in on the television. And because I fell asleep while watching them, I ended up coming in way too late to the Freedom FM studios. But you know what? That's enough outguff out of me, wouldn't you agree? And that means it's now your turn. So drop me a message or text on WhatsApp to 086 206 8888. That's 086 206 8888. And tell us, what did your weekend sound like? What did it feel like? Don't hold back. Whisper it, shout it, emoji it. We are here, we are listening, and we can't wait because your stories are just getting started. It's Freedom FM, playing the sounds that wrapped around your youth like a hoodie 2 sizes too big. And I can tell you that while Sting was crooning away, I was flipping through the big book of yesterdays and landed on the sun-splashed pages of August 2009, where, over in the States, their soon-to-be ex-president handed our ex-president, Mary Robinson, their Presidential Medal of Freedom. Proof, if any was needed, that Irish brilliance doesn't just stay local, it always goes global. Back in the UK, Burnley, yeah, that Burnley, served up a slice of sporting surprise, knocking the mighty Manchester United down a peg or two with a cheeky 1-0 win. Over in Germany, Usain Bolt tore up the track in Berlin, rewriting physics with a new world 100-metre sprint record. Blink once, you'd miss it. Blink twice, and you'd wonder if he'd already flown home. Meanwhile, here in Ireland, we didn't break records. We made music. A nation united behind a crooner named Michael Bublé, pushing Haven't Met You Yet all the way up to number 5. Struggling artist, not with us behind him. I tell you, we gave that tune some wings. That was Keen on the Monday morning edition of Freedom FM's Way Too Early Night Cruise, where the weekends linger just a little bit longer and memories refuse to check out quietly in a part of the show that we like to call I Know What You Did Last Weekend. The part of Monday morning where you tell us nighttime nosy parkers what you got up to over the last 60 or so hours. And I'm happy to say that you've been sending in stories that sparkle, sizzle and straight up surprise. So let's jump into a few, shall we? Starting with Niamh Donnelly in Dublin, who says, Saturday night I swapped Netflix for necklines and headed to the National Concert Hall with my pal Mick O'Hara to catch the Sweeney Todd in concert. The orchestra was electric, the cast deliciously devious, and by the end I felt like booking a trim from the demon barber himself. Oh, thanks for reaching out, Niamh. Sounds like you and Mick survived a symphonic seance of cutthroat charm. Up next we've got Ronan O'Donoghue, who's reached out from Nace. Feargal says, Saturday was all action. I packed the kids, Liam and Fee, into the car and we headed to the National Basketball Arena to catch Ireland v Norway. What a game. Slam dunks, quick breaks and the crowd that roared like it was the NBA Finals. We left tired, hoarse and fully converted to hoops life. Thanks for getting in touch, Ronan. This sounds like you clearly are a father, a fan and a full-time playmaker for Team Family. Now, listen up and tell me, what about you? No matter what you got up to, and I'll be honest, we don't mind what it was because we are just a nosy bunch. Get in touch and tell us, was your weekend full of wild antics or did you do absolutely nothing and loved every second of it? Get in touch with us on WhatsApp right now on 086 206 8888. That's 086 206 8888 because we've got one final round of I Know What You Did Last Weekend coming right up after we hear from Gabrielle. That's Westlife on Freedom FM, where as well as reliving the 90s and the noughties, we like to stick our big beaks into your weekend shenanigans for a part of the show that we call I Know What You Did Last Weekend. And I'm delighted to report that this morning the old WhatsApp machine has been full on with weekend wisdom, belly laughs and brilliant little moments. So let's get to this last round of I Know What You Did Last Weekend in before we hit 1 a.m, shall we? And to do that, let's head down to Cork and say hello to Laura Flanagan. Feargal, she says, Friday night was full on fabulous. Me and my partner, Tara Costello, hit up the marquee in Cork for Michael McIntire's stand-up show. From the first joke, we were howling. Michael was on fire, charm, chaos, and just the right amount of ridiculous. And I'll be honest, we left with sore cheeks. Laura, thanks for getting in touch, and it sounds like that show had everything. Snorts, spills, and spontaneous stomach crunches from laughing too hard. And I tell you, who needs a gym when you've got a McIntyre? Anyway, finally this morning, it's Tig Keane, who says, my better half and I were away for a weekend trip to Kilkenny. So on Saturday night, my dancing queen Aisling and I took a trip to Ballykeefe to catch ABBA-esque live. Let me tell you, it was pure pop nostalgia wrapped in sequins and high notes. The band was electric, the crowd was grooving like it was 1979, and by the end we were shamelessly belting out Gimme 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 with everybody else. Tyke and Aisling, you two sound like a right pair of glittering groove machines, I tell you. And ABBA-S clearly brought the sparkle while you brought the party. And thank you so much for reaching out this morning. And to everyone else who messaged in, thank you from the deepest corner of my decaffeinated heart. And if I didn't get to your story tonight, I promise I do read them all. And the good news is we'll do it all again next Monday morning. So if your weekend ends up strange, spectacular, or just plain silly, you know that we will want to hear all about it. But for now, stay right where you are because we're flipping the mood and revving up for something a little mysterious, a little musical, and a lot of fun. Love Slowed Down is coming up in hour 2.